to look at how we can build strong chapters through the seminars and advances. By way of background, seminars and advances is an empowerment platform, and it is required to be functional. Anything that is of benefit to anybody will not reach the people that it's supposed to be put together for if it is not functional. So seminars and advances is an empowerment platform, but it is important that it is functional. So one of the reasons why we are looking at this topic today is to generate interest and enthusiasm among the men to see how this important aspect of our work can be functional. The reason is that once it is functional, it will sharpen our sword, the sword of the men and the women, to be effective and impactful. So seminars and advances are targeted at making our men and our women to be more effective. Seminars and advances focuses on intervention programs. And these programs are designed to enhance the total men so that we can have testimonies. The fellowship is a testimony-based fellowship. So because seminars and advances are focused on addressing needs and the challenges that we experience day to day among the lives of our men, at the end of the day, testimonies will come out of it. And of course, you know the beauty and the power of testimony in this fellowship. What are the objectives? What do we intend to achieve by what we're looking at today? Number one, we're looking at how to build strong chapters. That means that the focus of this is that this tool is essential in making sure that our chapters are strong. Today, we are talking about weak, ailing, dead chapters. We know the power and what strong chapters can do in the entire fellowship, in the region. For example, weak chapters in Northeast, by the reason we are learning today, translate strong chapters. You can be sure that the effect will be very massive for this work. So one objective is to assist members understand that strong chapters are key to executing the vision. That means that weak, ailing, and dead chapters are not helping the vision. That's why there is so much work. That is why there is so much emphasis, especially from the national, to help us to see what we can do. Various efforts that we are putting in place to see that we have strong chapters. Another objective is to deploy these two seminars and advances to achieve this growth. That means that for your chapter to be strong, there are things you need to do. And one of them is to deploy seminars and advances. Another objective is to promote the essentials of effective seminars and advances. And also, one major thing which we also want to achieve is that we drive this use of seminars and advances in the fellowship. By the time we took a questionnaire of all the regions, we know that there are some regions that has been very, very effective in using seminars and advances, while some areas are not. Some chapters are very, very effective in it, while some are not. So the objective is to see how we can drive this thing all over the fellowship so that chapters and zones can begin to use them. By way of introduction, I want to say that the work of the fellowship the operational growth, the operational indices of this fellowship is measured from the chapters. Chapters are the platform for the operations of the fellowship. That is why, as a fellowship, no matter the height you go, no matter the position that by virtue of your commitment God allows you to attain, you are supposed to be a member of a chapter. The national president is a member of the chapter. The national director is not promoted to a director and promoted out of a chapter. No. Every member of this fellowship is a member because he belongs to a chapter. Not because he's a director, not because he's a field rep, not because he's any position whatsoever. He's a member because he belongs to a chapter. The reason is that chapters are the outlets for enlarging God's kingdom. That means that when things are happening all around Northeast, if we begin to hear testimonies of what is happening, the chapters are the outlet for these things to happen. Because that is where the men are supposed to come. That's where the men are supposed to gather for the growth of this work. The great work of the entire fellowship is done mainly through the chapters. That's why we are laying so much emphasis on building strong chapters so that this work can grow. Chapter leaders need to recognize that one of the most important keys to the life of our chapter, the quality of our members and attractiveness of our operations, is the effectiveness of our programs in growing the men. What do I mean? The seminars and advances are one of the programs we run in this fellowship. So if your men will grow, if your men will do well, it is a direct reflection of the effectiveness of the programs that are being put together in your chapter, on your zone, on your district. So if chapters are putting together effective programs, the men will grow. But where chapters are weak in putting together quality programs, then the men will not be able to grow. I'd like us to just quickly go through what are the characteristics of strong chapters. Remember, what we're looking at today is how to build strong chapters through seminars and advances. And you may want to ask, what do I see? What are the things that I experience in the chapter to determine or to tell me that my chapter is strong? As a member of the chapter, as a leader of the chapter, as a field rep in charge of the areas, what is it that you want to see to show that a chapter is strong? Number one is members that are committed. And when I was discussing with the representative of the seminars and advances in the Northeast, and we are just trying to put heads together, how do we make sure that everybody partakes of this training? Because we recognize that some people may have challenge of location, some people may have challenge of network by virtue of where they stay. And we agree that we can encourage them to come together in a cluster. Now, by looking at what I saw, especially I think it's Jalingo that I'm looking at, we can see the men gathered together is a sign of commitment. For the men that have put them together, they are committed officers. When your meetings are effective and your operations are effective, is a sign that the chapter is strong. When the programs are effective, not just programs, when they are effective, because people can run different kinds of programs, but if it is not effective, it will not translate to making the men strong so that the chapters can be strong. And of course, if you are not telling your leadership what you are doing in your areas. Today in our district, we did a training, essentially a practical session that to teach our men how to effectively report. Effective reporting. And we told ourselves that no matter what is happening in your chapter, report it. Even if you are not meeting, report it, say it that you're not meeting. Because when you say it, we'll be able to know the challenges that you're facing and find a way to address it. So when a chapter is reporting effectively what is happening, it means that the chapter is strong. We're not going to go to, for the benefit of every one of us, what are seminars and advances? I'd like to say that a seminar is a meeting in which you receive information on and training in a particular subject. That means very, very clearly that seminars address a particular subject. Seminars are not without focus. What it means is that if you look at your chapter, your area, and you notice that your men, when they go into transactions, they burn their fingers. When they want to buy properties, at the end of the day, they burn their fingers. When they enter into business with somebody, they experience challenges along the way. That is a subject. So a seminar can be put together either by bringing a lawyer to help the men to know what they need to do and things that lawyers will need to do to help them out of that situation. That is what a seminar should address. Information and training on a particular subject that you want to help your men to understand. And advances, you spend more time. A seminar, you can hold it in a normal chapter meeting, as the case may be. But advances, you spend more time away from your normal lifetime, from your normal environment. It is more detailed. Sometimes advances take 2-3 days for the purpose of reconnecting in prayer, the word of God, and in a particular area of need. So it means that seminars can be upgraded to advances if more time is needed to address an issue. That's why in some areas, you see them talk about couples advance, leaders advance. It's because they have seen that more time is needed. Let's even sit down as a couple to talk within ourselves, to reconnect within ourselves. So we need more time. When we come in a particular meeting to do this, there are so many questions that are coming up. And if we begin to ask so many questions, we will not be able to close that meeting on time. So we move it to advances. Seminars and advances addresses the total man and is a creative way of passing across the gospel message or addressing a topical issue or both, especially as we recognize from scripture that God is interested in every area of our lives. So seminars and advances is a way that God helps us, is a way that he is a channel that he uses to address every area of our life as a member of this fellowship. The total man, everything around you as a man, your family life, your business life, your personal life, your everything around you, seminars and advances, they address it. And we know that in this fellowship, our core mandate is to call men back to God. Every program and whatever we do in this fellowship is targeted at addressing the needs of the men. So seminars and advances helps us to address the total man and is a very creative way to do this. Who and who may run seminars and advances, you may ask? Your chapters. A field rep can put a group of his chapters together to run seminars and advances. A national director can put together his men. Every beginning of the year, precisely December, before people go for Christmas, it has been a consistent practice in my zone. All of us as leaders, field reps, chapter presidents, vice presidents, we take away 2 days out of our area and we go and spend time in a zonal advance. So in that place, we pray, we address needs, we chart a course for the zone for the beginning of the year. So when the meetings start in January, some people are still groping around. They don't know their head from their tail. It's because they have not come together as a zone to look at issues around them and chart a way forward. Districts can run seminars and advances. There are some programs or seminars that are large that will require some measure of capacity. Districts can run them. In that way, many more people can join. Regions can run it. The national, we just came back from a strategic leadership advance as national. All of us, NEC members, committee members, national committee members, with our wives. We spent 2 days. That is an advance because we looked at issues surrounding us. What will seminars and advances, what role will it play in making my chapter strong? If I introduce seminars and advances in my programs from today, if I take time to ensure that it is inculcated in everything I do as a chapter, as a zone, what is the role? What will it translate to in building strong chapter? The reason why, the role that it will play is that it will give you an opportunity to address specific needs and issues in the lives of our members. I said it before. This fellowship is all about men. When we gather in our chapters, we are not gathering just because we want to gather. We are gathering and our eyes are focused on how God can address the lives of our members. When our first timers come, we are trusting God that by the reason of what we have put together, their lives will be touched. And friends, when we address the needs of our members, they show more commitment to this work. When we pay attention to the challenges they are facing, and we try to put together a program to address that need, then your men will be more committed, they will be more enthusiastic, they will go and be calling more men, say, come and see what God is doing in my chapter, because it is addressing specific needs in them. Seminars and advances will enable us to give quality attention to key issues. Friends, I don't believe that as a member of this or as a fellowship, we should be running around circles. No. We need to pay attention to key issues. In the Northeast, for example, what are the key issues? What are the challenges that our men are facing? If you are not close to the men, you will not know it. And as leaders, one of our basic responsibilities is to be close to the men that we are leading. That's how you can know the challenges they are facing. So in the Northeast today, what are the key issues? Seminars and advances will help you to know what you need to do and how to give quality attention to those key issues. Seminars and advances provide targeted and focused interventions. Focused interventions. When I was a chapter president, there was a couple that were having delay in having children. That is a challenge. What did I do? Chapter advances or quarterly advances that I used to run as a chapter president, we would take it to their house. The reason why we're taking it to their house is that at the end of the meeting, all of us will hold hands and pray with them. They will be more encouraged because you are trying to intervene in a particular issue that you have noticed. So seminars and advances provide target and focused interventions. When the men in the chapters are not doing well in their businesses, When the men in the chapters are, some of them are struggling with paying rent. Some of them are coming under the harassment of landlords around them. It could be security issues around them. Seminars and advances can be put together to intervene, to know how to stop that particular trend. You cannot see problems in the lives of your men and you keep quiet. Prayers are good, but information is also key. What information are you passing across to them? And you know, when you address the needs of the men, you are in line with the vision of this fellowship. So in your chapter, what makes your chapter strong is that the men that are coming, are their lives being touched? Are issues around them being addressed? In the Northeast, what are the problems that our men are facing today? Is it only the security situation? The security problem have also brought out some other challenges. The men and their businesses may be suffering. Some they have completely pulled away their places of business. It's a challenge. While you are praying, you are looking at ways to address it. Your men may lack the right capacity on information about business. Then you find a way to put it together. When you are deploying seminars and advances in your chapter, in your district, in your region, in your area, members, like I said, they are addressing a need that you have seen. Members will have the assurance that the fellowship cares for them. Very important. That's why today, in some areas in this fellowship, some people feel that we don't care enough. Sometimes when something happens to somebody, it is other members in their churches that come around them. Some people will have a challenge, they will need to travel out of, they will need to travel. It is the church members that will join the member to travel. Some will have challenges, and nobody wants to find out, bro, that issue, can we put this thing together that can help you? So when you discover these needs, and you are trying to address it, members will have an assurance that you care for them. For every aspect of their lives. Thereby, it encourages members to show a total commitment to the growth of the chapter. When members know, when they have the assurance that the fellowship cares for them, you cannot be dragging them in showing commitment to the work. It's not possible. They are the ones that will be rushing to find out what they can do for the growth of the chapter. It helps market and attract non-members to the fellowship. When you want to do advances, seminars and advances, sometimes you advertise it to others who are not members. Because God has blessed us in this fellowship with the capacity, with men, that we can use to talk to us in these areas. Other people can come and say, I listened to one seminar and advances from this chapter. I think it's a good place to go. It's a prime soul winning tools. It helps to build members, like I said, into total men, their spiritual life, their mental life, and their physical life. Now, as we're about to close, what are the opportunities of seminars and advances in physical and virtual meetings? Why we are putting this thing together is that during the COVID period, especially the lockdown, we saw the power of seminars and advances because we saw men challenged everywhere. We saw marriages having issues. Couples who are not used to staying together, they were forced to stay together. And friction everywhere. John 16:33 said, these things are spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, have overcome the world. So the challenges that we are seeing today, whether in the Northeast, on the whole of the world, Friends, it has presented to us as members of this of fellowship opportunities of putting together seminars and advances to address it. So while some people may be crying, well, this problem is too much, some people are taking advantage of it. Currently, and even before now, the world has been going through turmoil, and it has brought up different challenges. Number one, businesses are failing. Many businesses are going to indebtedness. You can imagine when, because of insecurity, a man decides to close his shop. If he bought goods on credit to sell and pay back, what has happened to him? He will fall into debt. Marriage and family issues. The COVID issue brought out these challenges. When the businesses fail and the man in the house cannot provide for the family, challenges. Health and physical well-being. Some people became challenged in their health. When a man is thinking, how will my children eat? It begins to affect his mental life, his health, and everything around him. The COVID came with challenges. These issues, friends and my brothers in the Northeast, the challenges that you may have discovered today in that area have provided opportunities to do what? For seminars and advances to be effectively deployed in our chapter meetings, whether physically or virtually. What we are doing today is a virtual meeting. Ideally, I should have traveled down, or people in Jalingo should have come to this, movement. But today, in our comfort, wherever we are, we can access these things virtually. So what we are seeing today has provided opportunity for us to address the challenges and bring smiles back to people. There are different types of seminars: business seminars, abundant life seminars, health seminars, marriage seminars. The national, some time ago, this seminar on Christian in politics, that can also be done in the region. I said before, seminars can be upgraded to advances. That's why in advances, you see couples advance, you see men's advance, the ladies at a point, they can take their time and away from home and go on advance. Leaders in the district, in the zone, can go for advances. So these are the types that you can know and look at. It's not exhaustive. The issue is seminars address needs. Any need you see, you try and put together a seminar. Bring somebody who has capacity in that area to help you to address it. How do you make seminars and advances effective? Number one, prayer is important. Whenever you want to organize one, whenever you are talking about what to do, please pray. Prayer helps you to know how to address that particular challenge. Planning is important. This meeting we are doing today, a form of planning was put in place, and then we execute it. Not only is the consistency is important. As a chapter, don't just do one seminar today and then you don't do any one till next year. No, be consistent. Be consistent either quarterly as a chapter or as a district, maybe in a whole year, you look at area to address, and then have a form of feedback. Anything you do that you don't provide opportunity for people to say, that meeting I went to, this is what I learned, this is what I feel. So how do I deploy seminars and advances as we're about to round up? In my chapter, what do I do? One of the key desire of the National Vice President on capacity building is that what do we do? Not to help the men all over to run seminars and advances. What do we do? How can we help? Do we help them by area of organizing it? Do we help them by area of looking for facilitators? Do we help them in area of joining them in their planning of those meetings? So how do I deploy this thing? Number one, as a chapter president, as a district coordinator, as an RVP, identify the areas in which your members need intervention. Set up a committee comprising of men that have passion in the area you have identified to address. That's why all over, and I'm sure in Northeast, there are committees. that are handling several things. So there's nothing you do, you don't put together a committee. That's why all over you have Corpus Advanced Committee, you have the Business Seminar Committee. So even in the chapter, any area you want to address, put a small team together and find somebody who has passion in that area and bring a small committee to plan it together for you. Plan and introduce it into your program for the year. How do I deploy it? Leadership determines whether it is better addressed by seminar. So you are the one that will determine this thing I want to look at. Can we handle it in a meeting? If we cannot, then let us upgrade it to an advance or both, depending on whatever. Put together a budget, identify right speakers, venues, and logistics. That's why that's why you have a rep in charge of seminars and advances. If you want to do anything, you can talk to him. Say, Brotoni, we want to do this program. Is there anybody that you can recommend to us? We can scout around. And anybody anywhere can be a facilitator, even in this present time. Begin to promote the program. For those that cannot join physically, provide an online link. Provide a feedback mechanism for purposes of improvement. Whatever you do, give room for people to criticize it. Give room for people to tell you what you can do to add to what you have done for it to grow. Be consistent in deploying the tools and send reports. Brethren, in conclusion, seminars and advances attract and build up strong members. It is strong members that make strong chapters, and it's only strong chapters that can fulfill the vision of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International. So seminars and advances, it attracts, it makes your members stronger. A man who is going through challenge in his business, and you try and put together a business seminar to address his challenge, and once that is solved, he becomes a strong member, and strong members make very strong chapters. The final word, brethren, is that when the needs of the members are addressed, I keep saying it, the success and the key to making our chapter strong is when God is meeting the needs of the members. So we need to prayerfully begin to ask God, begin to find a way for God to address the needs that we have perceived in the lives of our members. When the needs of the members are addressed through the opportunities presented by God in seminars and advances, their commitment is guaranteed. So if you have been running around your membership, if you have any time you call meeting, the man does not come. You call him here, he does not come. You call him here, he does not come. It is because he has not seen areas that the fellowship is addressing his need. Once his needs are met by the grace of God, you will not be running around to look for the commitment of this man. So I want to, on that note, say that seminars and advances are key, very important for the growth of the work and for what is happening today all over. And so for the work to grow, seminars and advances is important that you begin to put them together. God bless you and thank you for this opportunity.